Witcher 3's Gwent is getting its own standalone release, Fallout Shelter is coming to PC, all that and more. I'm Zach Sharps and this is Free to Play Weekly. First up in the news this week, those of you guys looking for a brand new MMO to play might be interested to hear that Incel Games' Trinium Wars has officially launched. The game, of course, recently went free to play, and to celebrate the launch, Incel Games is offering a 40% discount on the deluxe and collector's editions of the game, as well as an additional 50% discount on in-game cash for everyone who logs in for the first time after buying these editions. If you don't already know what Trinium Wars is about, it's a standard theme park sci-fi MMO that sports faction warfare. Our very own Mike Byrne aka Magic Man checked it out, so be sure to check out his first look, which is live on the channel. You know that game called The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, which garnered the most Game of the Year titles in modern gaming history, including one from myself? Well, some of you might have never finished it due to getting sucked into its in-depth card game called Gwent. Luckily for you, Gwent is getting its very own free-to-play standalone release with lots of new cards to collect. If you don't already know, Gwent allows you to control an army from one of 4 factions, and you will need to tactically arrange your units in 3 lines of battle: melee, ranged, and siege. You'll only start with 10 cards though, and will have very limited opportunities to draw more, so crafting the perfect strategy right off the bat is extremely important in order to succeed. CD Projekt Red did not stop there though. I mean, it's CD Projekt Red, why would they stop right there for? To top things off, they decided to give more control over rare cards you get in packs. Every CCG, usually you get 1 guaranteed rare card per pack, but in Gwent, you'll get to choose this card out of 3 that appear, thus giving you a bit more control over that dreaded RNG god that always gives you shit. The funny thing is, I never played much Gwent in The Witcher 3, I just had a feeling it would be released in a standalone form, and indeed it has. Just another reason to love CD Projekt Red. Our own Jason Winter here at MMOBomb.com has always brought up the fact that vertical leveling in MMOs is quite silly, especially since it bars your friends that just started playing said game from playing with you for over 20 hours as they try and catch up by hitting the level cap that you're currently at. Well, it seems like Gazillion is another developer that agrees, because Marvel Heroes will be getting level scaling by the end of the month. Basically, think of this scaling like Guild Wars 2's. Each zone you're in will scale you down to an appropriate level, thus allowing higher level players to play with lower level players without one-shotting everything in sight. They're also going about making level 60 content a bit more accessible, as well as having plans to add in individual difficulty settings in the future. It is clear with this move, and also the Elder Scrolls Online's recent move to introduce level scaling, that big players in the developer verse are starting to see that vertical scaling may not be the best form of progression. With that said, it's time for the question of the week. Last week on the show, I asked whether or not Revelation Online will be free to play like its Eastern counterpart, or choose a brand new model. A user by the name of Brandon Flagg stated the following: I think the game will be buy to play, much for the same reason you and the others on the free to play cast listed, though I would not mind seeing it in any model, as I will likely pick it up to fill my MMO void. As promised last week, I did also pick another comment to feature as well. This one is by a user by the name of Sephron and states the following: Revelation Online will be for sure free to play, but it will have some small amounts of transactions, but not a lot. My.com has learned from their mistakes. Skyforge was ruined early with huge transactions, but now they have limited transactions and the game is very free to play friendly. Thanks for your guys' responses, and if you want your comment possibly featured in next week's show, make sure to leave a comment down below. This week's question is, do you think vertical leveling in MMOs is necessary, or is there another way? If you think there is another way, be sure to describe that way in a concise manner down below. I'm really curious what you guys come up with. You know how I briefly mentioned earlier that the Elder Scrolls Online will be getting the level scaling treatment? Well, that's not all Bethesda announced at E3 this week. In fact, the very popular free-to-play mobile game Fallout Shelter will be coming to PC very soon. For those unfamiliar with the title, Fallout Shelter is a sim management game based in one of the vault tech shelters in the Fallout universe. It's up to the player to keep dwellers happy, healthy, and hard at work repopulating the world as quickly as possible. Giggity. This requires building new rooms, training the dwellers in different areas, and managing just about every disaster any sim-type NPC is capable of creating. Those of you looking forward to it like myself should expect it to launch sometime in July. Last up in the news this week, Reloaded Games is bringing their mech-based free-to-play title Hawken to consoles. Yep, you heard me right. If you ever wanted to play Hawken on your PS4 or Xbox One, you'll be able to do so very soon, or as the game's website states, this summer. Work on the console ports apparently started around this time last year, with the first code for the PS4 port being hammered out in July of last year. As part of their port process, Reloaded Games is working on making sure all platforms will be on the same version of the game at the same time, and that updates for all of them will roll out all together. Seems like more developers are catching on the money train that is free to play on consoles. I wonder which game will be next. You know, it always catches on because I always remind you about it every single week. Giveaways, of course. Yes, be sure to head on over to mmobomb.com. Check out that giveaways page. Make love to it. I mean, bookmark it. And check it daily to ensure it never misses you. I mean, ensure you never miss one. As for myself, signing out till next week's show, my name is Zach Sharps, and I'll catch you guys next time.